Okay. Hey. Here you are, Lyric Armstrong here, your real estate advocate. And today I want to talk to you about how to piece up, okay? Um, Dr. Rosie, a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, is noted for saying you have to piece up, piece up. And what her analogy to that is, her story is that back in the day, or probably even still today, winos would piece up. One would have a dollar, the other one would have another dollar, and another one will have another dollar. They go in there and they buy Ripple. All right, so maybe it's not Ripple nowadays. I don't know what it is. But whatever they're going to purchase in, getting their liquor of choice, they did not stop themselves from only what their wallet or what their resource was. They went and found a like-minded individual to piece up with in order to, they got a little money here, a little money there, and consequently, they would share their alcohol, whatever they were able to purchase. So how does that relate to real estate? Well, maybe that's the way you're going to get your first piece of property, is that you piece up with someone else. You go into partnership with someone else, a family, a good friend, and you guys collectively come together. That could be for your first home. It could be for your income property. It just depends on what you're looking for. Obviously, the amount of money that you put in will be different depending on what type of property you're going for. But I want to share with you a little bit of how that process works so that you can have um, a little understanding before you go and start your partnership. You need to have personal evaluation. Okay, start thinking for yourself. One, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? I'm a detail oriented individual. I much rather like to deal with contracts. I don't necessarily want to have to go and deal with people on like a meet, how politicians say shake hands and kiss babies, that kind of thing. I like real relationships, not just networking relationships. So maybe I'll partner up with someone who's a good networker that can be influential with the legislation and the planning committees, and get to know the department heads relative to the cities that we're going to be investing in. Those things are important. So make an analysis of yourself, evaluate where you are as an individual, where you are financially, and what your goals are individually, so that when you are thinking about a partnership and they come to the table with who and where they are in those same categories, you guys can see if you can align. And then you want to analyze the industry. Okay. So right now, we're kind of, everybody has a different perspective of what the real estate market is in relation to COVID-19. That is to be expected because, like we've talked about before, COVID-19 is in fact an anomaly. It is a pandemic, something that was not known to happen. Though we had a good set of indicators, we were not we didn't know exactly when, how, and what was going to happen. And we're still trying to figure out how are we going to come out of this. What are we going to do in the real estate market to come out of it? So you want to analyze the marketplace for which you're entering and where you forecast it to go. You may seek help with a real estate agent to determine that, because a professional, and I mean a professional, not someone, this is their part-time and they know how to fill out contracts for you to close the deal, but someone who has the ability to analyze the marketplace and to help you to understand what you're looking at. Okay, so you want to make it legal. You want to have a business name, you want to register, you get your EIN, register Secretary of State on the SOS website. You can, you know, um, you can invest in Legal Shield. But I do caution you, because Legal Shield and what's the other one, Zoom Legal Field or something, Field, whatever. All of these things are, Legal Shield is a little better because you have the ability to speak with an attorney. Nevertheless, the advice for which you are seeking is going to be in correlation for the price you're paying. Okay, so be clear that you might want to speak to a number of attorneys. But even if you can't get, if you don't have confidence in Legal Shield, and I wouldn't do the other one, LegalZoom or whatever it is, because those are automated systems. You want someone that can talk to you, that can explain to you what you need to know individually, not just how do I file my EIN, because really you can do that online. And how do I file my articles with SOS, that you can do that online. Those are easy things to research and figure out. But as far as formation of your business, are you doing an LLC, an LLP, or a C corp? You know, what structures are you doing and why? Should you have a nonprofit and a for-profit, and why? One of the things you want to make sure that you also find out about is insurance. You know, if you're having a partner, no matter three other partners or just yourself, six other partners, whoever, if you're having more than one person, you want to have insurance on that person, life insurance on that person, so that you can get the life insurance to buy their estate out of ownership of your company. Otherwise, now you're going into partnership with their family. So you want to look at those type of things to make that legal as well. I would seek a business law attorney and a probate attorney or family law attorney, something that can do trust and estates, wills, trust and estates attorney, someone, set of attorneys that can help you identify what you'll need to set up for right now and for later, in the event that one of you should pass away and you want to both have insurance on the other. So like I said, you can buy out the prospective families. Okay, so next step, set up shop. Are you going to have a brick and mortar location, or are you just having a website, or, not even that much? Just decide about what your partnership is. If you're going to a fix and flip, you may not need a website, but you probably will need a domain for your email. So maybe you'll have that. You go through GoDaddy. So wherever your shop is going to be located, whether it's online solely or if it's has a physical location plus online, you need to go ahead and set that up, get finance. Now, right now, you're like, it's COVID-19. They're giving money for COVID. They are still giving money for businesses. Try your small business bureau first. If you are minority business, get registered for minority business and try funding for that first, because your interest rates are a lot cheaper. So that's one avenue. Your next is your local banks, your credit unions, and then your big banks. Those are another avenue. And then beyond that, you can do hard money lending to fund your deals if you're doing a fix and flip. So, you can get financial that way. But I caution you, you want to, like I said, take the inventory. And step one is to, are you a contractor? Is your partner, do you have a partner with a contractor? Are they generally licensed in your state? Are they capable of, conducting residential, commercial property? What are you looking to get into? You want to have those things aligned so that especially when you're doing hard money lending, you're not spending money on mistakes because you're paying a much higher interest rate. Whereas a small business loan, you may be doing some learning curve motions that is costing you money, but you're not paying at a high interest rate, so you can afford to learn on the job. Okay, so be careful on how you are collecting finances to support or to begin the business process. All right, so of course you want to make sure you have a business plan. And oh, okay, I was going to say this looks backwards. I didn't even check this out. Okay, so as you see, step 3 is make it legal, do the business plan, get finance, and then set up shop. I was going to say, this doesn't sound like the right order, right? No. I just wrote it wrong. I am American, so I read left to right. I didn't even pay attention to the fact we were going right to left at this place. You want to have your business plan first. I was like, just going to say, no, you need your business plan to get finance. Yeah, you need to have a business plan. That's how you get finance. It's a part of your packaging. So you make it legal, then you get a business plan, then you get finance, and then you set up shop. I kind of think setting up shop can be half done during the business plan stage as well, because like I said, even if you're going to have a brick and mortar location, you definitely want to have a website. And if you're not going to have a brick and mortar location, but you are going to have a website, you want to have that up and running and designed and make it a part of your business plan. Because maybe this is how you're getting your clientele. Maybe this is part of your marketing strategy that you're, marketing on an IDX. Like, you want to make sure that you have this business plan. Now, this is very business forward. This is, I'm already a real estate professional for, but if you are just trying to get your first home, and maybe you have a converted garage and you're going to use that as a part of making money as some income, or just maybe it's just your first home, it's okay. You can still take upon a lot of these strategies. At that point, your evaluation process is more or less, how much money do I have for down payment? How much money do I have for closing costs? These are two separate things. Down payment and closing costs are two separate costs. Down payment can be 3%. Closing cost is almost, it's like 2%. So you're looking at a 5% deal. And that's without assistance. And so if you qualify for down payment assistance programs, then you're looking at less. I've had people come in the deal all together at 1%, that they had 1% closing costs, and the down payment assistance and the city paid all of the other costs. But if you're saying, I don't qualify, my income's too high, or for whatever reasons I'm not considered eligible for that particular program, or the house that I want is not eligible for that particular programs, and you want to piece up, then you might say, I have the down payment and my cousin has the closing costs. So we'll buy it together. We'll buy this duplex together. If it's a duplex, it's not going to qualify for DPA. So we'll buy it together in certain areas. Okay. So you can piece up with your cousin. You guys can get a duplex. You can get a house. Um, maybe it's the finances that you need, or maybe you need someone to help pay the mortgage, right? So there are various ways that you can look at this scenario and determine what is going to be best for you. It doesn't have to be completely business stated, but if you wanted to put it into a business name, you can, or you can have it put into a trust so that you can, in fact, have protection and your interests protected within your real property. So you don't have to be looking at fix and flips. You can very well be looking at buy and holds, or just, owner occupied, which we all call first time home buyer programs, right? So I believe you can get up to 8 people on a loan. And there are communities of individuals that's what they do. They get as many people on the loan so they can have as much income as necessary to qualify for the home. Then once they've had some positive payment history, about 2 years worth, and they are making maybe a little bit more money, or they've saved up some more money for the next home, they go and get another home for the family, and then another home. And they repeat this process until all 8 persons have their own house. This is a very great example of how you can come together, piece up together, so that you guys can have the American dream of home ownership. All right, so that's that. By the block, this is just a little bit of how does the process go when you're trying to purchase. When you've gotten your pre-approval, what comes next? You find a home, you make an offer, and then the application process is more or less if the seller accepts your offer. Okay, this is not, you should have already gone through applying for a home loan because you're pre-approved for it, but you have other details also that you have to do throughout the process. It's called, when you open escrow, you're still going through your process for your lender. Your lender's asking you for the same documents all over again. Sometimes they're asking you for updated dates, and sometimes they're just asking for the exact same documents. So you have to be prepared with patience so that you can just get them what they need. Just get it. Like, don't even stress about why, just get it to them. The next thing is that you're in contract, meaning that your offer was accepted, so now you're in contract. So that's when you start ordering in escrow. You start ordering your appraisal, you're processing your loan documents, you get your appraisal report back, you go through underwriting. Okay, this is more about the loan process. So what underwriting? Okay, what do I care about that? This is what you care about that. When you go to the pre-approval process, right here, your monopoly, your very first step, when you're getting pre-approved, do you have a FICO score? You can pay off your credit cards. Um, you're not in any overextension of debt. You have your ratios, which we call DTI. Well, guess what? When you get to the underwriting process, you better have the exact same numbers, if not better. Don't you dare go open up a line of credit. Don't co-sign for nobody for nothing. Don't get a car. Don't go to Sears and open up any types of line or Macy's and open up any credit because you want the 10% extra customer service. No, no, and no, and no, and no. Anything that requires your social security card, you don't do. You wait till you have the keys, okay? Do not get a car. Car will kill the deal. Co-signing for someone to get a car will kill the deal. So don't do it. Okay, no student loan co-signing. I can't help you, boo. Not this. You're gonna have to wait till my escrow closes. Okay, you cannot do anything that requires your your social security number, and that will report to any one of your three bureaus. Okay, because when you do that, you can change your DTI. You can change your FICO score. You don't want anyone to even pull your credit because pulling your credit, even if you don't get the credit card, just pulling your credit will change your FICO score. It becomes an inquiry. So don't do it. All right. So now you're committed. You've gotten your title report, the report telling you, if this house is ready to go, clean breeze. And then you have your homeowner's insurance policy. I like to write that into the contract. But sometimes you're paying for it in your closing costs. And you're clear close at that time. And so when you're clear to close, that's when you go to escrow and you sign all those closing documents and you pay your closing costs and you're done. And then after your final walkthrough, which your final walkthrough, so like you're supposed to stay who you were in the very beginning of the process. Like when you walked in, you said, "Hi, I'm Lyric Armstrong. I'm FICO score 820, and I have my job of 20 years. You can't change your job either." And I didn't go, and you go to the underwriter, and the underwriter goes, "Okay, good. Yeah, that is Lyric Armstrong. Yes, her FICO score is 820. Yes, she's still on her job. No, she doesn't have any new open accounts. She didn't go co-sign for nobody. She didn't buy a new car. She didn't renew no lease on a car. She kept herself straight. You want the house to be straight too. Okay, so the first time you saw the house, it looked pretty good, but it had some furniture in it, right? A lot of times people are still living in it. So for your final walkthrough, the furniture is out and you're looking at it. Now, you don't have to have your contractor there. You don't have to go through another home inspection, but you can if you want to. The home inspection is usually within the first 7 days of your date of contract acceptance. When the seller says, "Yes, I want to open escrow with this person," you go down and you open up escrow by putting your earnest money down within 3 days. And a couple of days thereafter, your agent's telling you, "Hey, contractor so and so, home inspector so and so will be at the house, and you're welcome to join them." And then I give you the report and tell you what it looks like on the inside, and if the water heater is working, going up to temperature, if the flow is good on the water, if all the systems are working in accordance to code. After that, at the end, at the final walkthrough, atypically it's just you as the buyer and your agent. And if you want someone else to be there, they can be, but you're going to have to pay them to be there again. Okay. In the final walkthrough, you pretty much sign that day, whereas you get the report from your inspectors a day later. But if you should happen to see a hole that you didn't see before, or something crazy out of place, or maybe the um, paneling is now all of a sudden exposed, and you don't, your electrical paneling is not secure or whatever, then you can make note of it and you can go through a requesting of correction and repairs with the seller if need be. But for the most part, it's about the same. You sign off, and then day or two later, Once you officially record, you get your keys. And that is kind of tricky for some people because it's like I paid the money, I paid my closing costs, and the loan officer has put the money in. They've done the CDs, which is the closing documents. I've done the final walkthrough. I've agreed. I've signed for the final walkthrough. Can I get my keys at the same time? No, because now we have to actually record a new homeowner, and that can take about a day. So your closing is your day of keys is a day difference, maybe 2 days difference, just depending on what's going on. But you can only get the keys once you've actually recorded, and you can only record once you've funded and had all clearance of documents in your closed escrow. So there is a day or two delay. But that's the process. Now you're finished. You go and you move in. You okay? And we throw a great housewarming party. And thanks to COVID, we throw it virtually. But that is all I want to talk to you about today. We've gone into great detail about the process. But the number one thing I want you to realize is that for what you cannot do by yourself, do not let it stop you. Get grouped with someone or some other persons that you have trust in, and you guys do it together. Okay, if it's for your first home or your investment home, your vacation home, whatever you're looking at doing, don't think you have to do it alone. Like I said, you can put it in a trust so that it transfers title from one owner to the next. Should you, one of you pass away, you can put legal documents in place to where you have insurance on the other person so you can buy out the family if they should have an interest in the property. There are various things that can be done to protect your interests. And that is why I do point you in the direction of not just a licensed attorney, but someone who is actually in that particular field of interest of wills and estates, real estate law, and or business law, and maybe family law to some extent. But I think you probably get it all covered with wills and estates, probate law. That way, you can get those things put into place long before they become an issue, and and make it fair on all sides. So do not dismay. All right, you can get it done. Maybe you change up the strategy of how you get it done, but thank you for keeping your American dream in good hands with Lyric Armstrong, your real estate advocate. All right, talk to you soon.